Rongo from FightHype.com. I'm here with legendary matchmaking show, Robert Diaz. How's it going?
I'm good. I'm excited. What better way to kick off the day? Announcing a big fight before the end of the year on the zone.
Now, obviously, just want to talk about the fight with you. This is a huge fight, for the fight fans. We got Devin Haney against JoJo Diaz going on. How excited are you to make this fight and match this up and get this all together?
I'm very excited, but more importantly, I'm excited to show the fans, to show media that when fighters want to fight, they can get done. We're not blocking fights. We want to make the best fights for the fans. Sometimes it's the fighters that, especially in today's era of social media, they'll call each other out, but they won't sign the contract. JoJo's been very characteristic of those throwback fighters of back in the day where I don't care, I just want to fight. I want the biggest fights out there. And he's shown it time and time again.
And seeing the fact that you, as his matchmaker, he's just succeeded one after another, tough fight after. How do you know what fights to pick to get JoJo or your other fighters prepared for this?
It comes with experience. It comes with falling down and getting back up. It comes with fights that you thought you were going to make and you were going to win and you don't. But at the end of the day, it's how he was built. I mean, I've had JoJo since his pro debut. That's what gives me the confidence, because in his short career, what he's achieved, how he's shown his heart, his character, and more than anything, his determination to fall and get back up. So I know what he's made of. Devin is a tremendous, skillful fighter, young fighter who has a very bright future, but he hasn't been through the fire yet. Jorge showed a little bit, but Jorge was already, because of his age and inactivity, didn't start from round one. I think with JoJo, you're going to see a fight from round one.
And because you're a tremendous matchmaker,
Thank you.
Matchmade JoJo Ortiz with a very great fight with Mean Machine. It was a tremendous performance. A lot of people rate him highly, not just before that, but especially after that. What's next going to be for Virgil, if you don't mind me asking?
Virgil is somebody that makes my job easy. He makes me look good because he's in the gym. He's so determined, so focused, wants big things, similar to JoJo. They want the big fights. They want the big names. They want fights for the fans. They're not worried about the zero. They know eventually everybody loses, but they want to go down in history as great fighters. Virgil is very close to a world title. Ranked number 1 in WBO, ranked number 1 in the WBC. So it's moving along, but we need patience because let's remember, he's still a very young man. I want that same energy where people are saying, hey, he should fight Ennis, he should fight Ennis. They're in their 20s. Let them win world titles and then become unification for a bigger fight. But let's show that same energy and pushing Spence and Crawford in their 30s to fight before they hit 40s.
And you mentioned Ennis, and I know the fans are obviously wanting to see that. It's like you said, a fight later on when it become a little.
Absolutely. Let's see both of them become world champions. Let's see then a unification, a la Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard when they were both world champions. That'll make the fight bigger and more financially better for them too.
Now I have to ask, one of your fighters, brother Cobbs, came up and he walked up to Boots at his fight, and they did a little back and forth. They've done some sparring and feeling back. Is that a potential fight that Blair and Jerron Ennis is, that we can see that?
Like I said, when both fighters want it, absolutely, the fights could get done. I know right now, Blair wants it. Blair's willing to fight anybody and wants to fight the big names as well. That'll show you on our side, that's what I like to see in a fighter. Character, willing to fight, not worried about the zero, willing to give the fight fans the best fights out there. And you know what? Blair's ready to fight anybody.
How do you make a fight that's like cross promotion like that, seeing that, Jerron's with a different, is that fight possible?
At Golden Boy, that's something that prides me, is we've shown with history, not just with talks or words, that we are willing to work with anybody. The other side needs to want to work with us or get the fights done for the fans. If that's easy, a phone call away, we could get contracts signed right away.
And just 2 final questions. I always appreciate your time. Next week we got Munguia fighting Munguia-Rosado, a great fight over at the Honda Center, and just kind of want to speak a little about the card that you guys have.
Absolutely, I'm excited about that fight. It's gonna bring out fireworks. It's Mexico against Puerto Rico. Just that and alone has a tradition of historically great fights. I think Gabe Rosado right now is on a very high note after his win and spectacular knockout win over Beck. Has put him in a different mental state where he knows things can happen. He knows now with the experience he has, and now the main focus and motivation that things can happen. It's going to be a tough fight. Munguia keeps getting better and better and better at the hands of Eric Morales. Is learning new things. I don't see the fight going a distance. I see a knockout either way.
And in seeing the fact that he's ranked #1 in WO and your other fight, James Quigley's fighting Demetrius Andrade, would he face the winner of that after if everything plays out, if Munguia wins? And
Jason Quigley, and imagine Jason Quigley against the winner of Munguia and Rosado. That could be a very good fight, but first Jason needs to go get his win and bring that title back to Ireland. We'll be seeing Jason out in a couple weeks as well. But there's a good point you bring up. Working with other promoters. Before the end of the year, we have 4 world title fights between Golden Boy and Matchroom. That shows we can work. Yep. And we're willing to work as long as the fights make sense for the fighters and the fans.
And I have to ask, just because you are the legendary matchmaker and
Thank you.
with Canelo's development over the years, Canelo obviously is fighting a tough fight with Caleb-Plant. Can I just get your honest opinion about that fight and how that fight plays out?
100%. Canelo is another fighter that every fight out shows improvement. Even though he's hit the top level, he's still improving and improving and improving. Honestly, Caleb-Plant brings hunger, brings want, brings will, but I don't see him bringing anything else that Canelo hasn't already seen. There's no better fighter pound for pound today than Canelo Alvarez, and I think Saturday night we'll see another great performance, knockout in 7.
And I know I just said a couple more, just very last question. There's a high chance that Ryan Garcia may face the winner of Devin Haney and JoJo?
Absolutely. First things first, Ryan heals up, back in training, back in the gym, see how his hand feels. But Ryan's ready to fight the big names as well. He wants Tank. He wanted the fight was done with JoJo. Now we'll see December 4th and see who we sit down at the table with, who we're facing next.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time.